For today's Cyber CEO episode,
my Cyberbacker 𝗙𝗃𝗃, she does all of my scheduling. She organizes all of the inspections. She manages my calendar. She manages the business calendar. She does look over and she does summarize contracts as listing. There are so many tasks now that 𝗙𝗃𝗃 really takes ownership of in this business, and I don't even know what's going on. A lot of times I just trust that she's taking care of what needs to be taken care of because she is doing it like I would do it since she backed me for so long. She's made a huge impact on my business. One thing that 𝗙𝗃𝗃 says to me is, I think of myself as a business partner to you, Shannon, and not your assistant. And I told her, like, that's amazing because she does act like a business partner. That's where a lot of other agents are learning about Cyberbacker, is because they like her so much. Like, how did you hire her? How did you find her?
welcome to Cyber CEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. Cyber CEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. Another awesome weeker. My name is 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗶𝗹. We're back with another episode of Cyber CEO. And of course, we have a very special guest coming back to the show. Shannon, how are you doing today?
I'm great, 𝗙𝗃𝗃. It's good to see you again.
Yes, again, we're excited to have you. Thank you very much. I know you have a lot of things to do, so we really, really appreciate it. Now, just like last time, we have a lot of listeners who are business owners, so I need your help. Like, once again, can you introduce yourself to our audience? Maybe let's start with, what's your role in the business, Shannon?
Sure. My name is Shannon 𝗔𝗰𝗋. I'm a real estate agent with 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗶𝗹. My market is in Los Angeles, California. I would call myself the rainmaker is the most common term I hear. I'm the only agent on the team. I have one assistant, 2 showing agents, and someone that helps part-time with marketing.
There we go. Now, how long have you been in the real estate world?
I've been a real estate agent for a little over 7 years.
7 years now in the real estate world. Now, how about virtual leverage? Is this your first time working with someone virtual?
No, actually, my Cyberbacker 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗶𝗹, she's probably my 4th that I've hired since I started as a real estate agent. Before this, I used to do online marketing. So I have a background where I knew how to leverage through virtual help, but not in real estate.
But not really your first go at it. But any tips, though, that you can share with our listeners, just going through that, let's say, first part or first time working with someone virtual?
What I loved about the process when I hired somebody here was kind of like speed dating, where you speak to someone sort of in a small group, but you go one at a time. 4, I think, people per grouping, maybe 5. Mm-hmm. And then it just gave me a little touch into them. I also, before that, received their KPA and their resumes with a short video to kind of help me hear them speak and then help me understand a little bit about what their strengths are. Yeah, so it was great. It's very time efficient. It does also mean, though, being that time efficient, it's a very short amount of time to make a decision. But there is somebody there to kind of help talk through where I was feeling good or bad or not sure about somebody.
Yeah, of course. We're going to be there to guide you all the way, of course. Now, your Cyberbacker 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗶𝗹, you went through that hiring process. How did you know that she was the perfect fit for what you needed in your business?
So it's always hard to really know, I think, because I'm currently hiring for my own in-person assistant here. It's always really hard to know exactly what you're going to get, but what I wanted to get from 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗶𝗹 was just a general sense, like, is she flexible enough to learn new things, fast enough to learn new things, and is she able to really move very quickly? Because real estate just moves so quickly.
True.
Not necessarily the market. I'm just talking about the actual work on a team moves very quickly.
Yeah, true. I think sometimes even 24 hours is enough in real estate, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, more about 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗶𝗹 then. What are the tasks that you leverage off to her every day?
There are so many tasks now that 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗶𝗹 really takes ownership of in this business. So she does all of my scheduling. Mm-hmm. She schedules showings for my listings and schedules showings for my buyers. She organizes all of the inspections. She communicates with the showing agents when I can't be in all the places all at once. She will go schedule with them. She manages my calendar. She manages the business calendar, which is really just managing the people that need to show up for the certain activities we have. She does look over and she does summarize contracts as offers come in, listings come in. She organizes some of the base parts of the listing. She also does reach out to, so I have my own small portfolio of properties that I own. She also now works with many of the tenants, make sure they are set up. She sets up things related to collecting rent, making sure the tenants understand anything about the leases. She does read through all the contracts very carefully. It's one of the things I like most about her. She's actually very familiar with the California forms. So it's been very helpful to have her do that. And that doesn't include all the other things she does, which is she is direct facing with many of my clients. So she is a real person to them. She does not, at first she just backed me, which means that she would kind of write on my behalf or schedule on my behalf. And now she is just her own person. So my clients will reach out to her directly and they will text with her directly. And I don't even know what's going on. A lot of times I just trust that she's taking care of what needs to be taken care of because she is doing it like I would do it since she backed me for so long.
There we go. Now, basically she almost has her hands in almost everything then. Almost everything. I mean, she is virtual, so there's only so many things she could do. The reason I'm hiring an in-person right now is because I am only one person on the team. I'm a single agent. I happen to, with her help, I think this is going to be probably something you're going to ask a little later, but I've graduated into Gary Keller's top agent mastermind on the individual agent side. But with that said, I can't leverage some of the in-person things I need to do. I can only drive so fast. I can only get to so many places in a day. And I still have to sometimes sit down and make phone calls and handle some of the in-person work that needs to happen in the office. And a lot of things have already happened since the last time we talked, I believe. So how long have you been working with Camille, though?
It'll be 2 years in November.
There we go. 2 years. Very exciting. Again, for more years, obviously. But how has she impacted your business? Because, again, you talked about the things that she does. But sometimes that really doesn't describe an impact of someone in a business, right? But now, how can you tell me, or how has she impacted your business?
Yeah, so she's made a huge impact on my business. One thing that Camille says to me is, I think of myself as a business partner to you, Shannon, and not your assistant. And I told her, like, that's amazing because she does act like a business partner. She wants to do the work to align with how I want things done. And she also is learning how to explain things to clients and to help clients through hard parts, just because then I have one more person to rely on. So she's getting some of the nuanced parts of the business, and she's not just doing routine things. I want to make sure she has enough variety in her day. She likes talking to people. She likes people. So I want to give her an opportunity to talk to clients, to talk to vendors, and build a relationship with them too. So when I speak to like my favorite home inspector, they're like, oh, Camille, she is so organized. Or when I speak to another agent on the other side of the transaction, they're like, I really like Camille. It's like, I'm talking to you. Or it's like everything I ask her to do, she can pretty much handle, and she doesn't really need your input. So that's where a lot of other agents are learning about Cyberbacker, is because they like her so much. Like, how did you hire her? How did you find her?
There you go. And that's the beauty of virtual leverage, I think, right? Now, do you think that any kind of business would need or would benefit from virtual leverage? Let's say not real estate. Let's say other businesses.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that small business owners that need more leverage, this is an ideal situation. The not ideal situation, and this is just for everybody in a small business that's doing it all themselves, bootstrapping every single activity, from taking the trash out to making sure they negotiate contracts, is the hard part is there's not a lot of training. So I really emphasize training with my Cyberbacker, and Camille knows now. She trains, she creates video trainings for things we do in the business, so that we can be prepared for another person that will join the team. But I think it can be applicable to anyone as long as there's enough time to really help somebody get integrated and really understand how to help. The other thing is small business owners have to be willing to let go. There's some desire to, well, everybody wants me, or, they're asking for me, that I need to fix it. I need to talk to them. I need to do all the things. But then it doesn't leave much left for the leverage that you want to actually create for the life you actually want, so you can step away from your business. And that's what I want to be able to do.
Yeah, I think that investing in your Cyberbacker during the start of the partnership, I think that's very, very important, because let's say for the first few weeks, probably first 2-3 weeks, you really have to invest your time in integrating them into the business, because again, as what you mentioned, that's something that you need to have. Right. And the training, although the training comes from Cyberbacker, that's, from the real estate world, is, it's basic. It kind of gets just the bases covered. There's so much more, each state has its own contracts, and each state has their own way of doing business. And then on top of that, then there's each person, each individual agent, or each individual business owner likes to run it a certain way. And then there's always the things we've been meaning to do, but we're too busy to do. Yeah. And so we want to hand it off to someone else to do, and they haven't mastered it. So they also need to learn, like, well, what do we do here? How do I do it? And then to not know how the business owner themselves wants it done because they haven't done it. Also, you're going at it a little blind. Sure. So what I've always done with 𝗙𝗻𝗄 is whenever I ask her to do a task that was something I've been meaning to do. So I don't have a task list. I don't know how it should be done. I don't know best practices. I ask her, like, can you get familiar with this program? Can you get familiar with what we want to do here? Can you create a general task list? And then let's talk about it the whole way. So then she and I, we share the way to build it. So she gets more invested in it. So she understands, well, Shannon doesn't know what to do, and neither do I, but I'm going to come up with some suggestions. That's like creating a process together, right? So that both of you would be familiar. Now, next question for you. How do you build a strong bond with someone who's virtual? Because I know a lot of people are already jumping the boat, like, hey, I need virtual leverage. I need virtual leverage today. But some of them aren't really prepared. So how did you prepare to have someone or to work with someone virtual, Shannon?
So there's a lot of things. I mean, I had, obviously, 𝗙𝗻𝗄 being the fourth virtual person in my real estate business. It doesn't include online marketing before this. She being the fourth person, like, I've had enough experiences really working with someone virtual to understand how to make sure they feel like they're a team player. That I talk to 𝗙𝗻𝗄 daily. There are less than 10 days that she's been working for me that I've ever not spoken to her on a day, and that does not include vacations. So she and I speak every day. We usually speak at least 3 times a day. So morning, middle of the day, and then kind of work out the end of the day. Yeah, it's usually a good pace we like to keep. Or we'll have one long meeting. It might be like a 45-minute meeting. She helps me catch up on some phone calls I've been meaning to do. We create a new task list together, and then we start just going about the day. And then she and I update each other through Slack. So she is very much involved with every step of the way. She knows where every client is on every portion of the escrow. The buyers are here. The sellers are here. Are we ready to move to the next step? If we're not, she knows where everything is. I don't have to explain much to her now because we're so in sync.
You got used to working with each other already through the years.
And the main thing is the daily communication, or multiple times in a day, because so many things move in a day that sometimes we need to speak more than once. And she is involved. So she sees all my text messages, all my emails, all my voicemails. And then she's in my Slack channels as herself, where we talk to all of our buyers. All of our buyers are in their own channels. So there's a way for her to always stay connected, but not go through me. And that's one of the key things is nowadays, she is her own person. She is, I don't treat her as like a barrier to get, talk to me and then I tell her what to do. I don't do that anymore.
We've been talking about 𝗙𝗻𝗄 for a while now, and I know for sure she's going to be watching again once we have this online. So I'd like to know, what do you like most about her? What's the first thing that comes to mind when we talk about 𝗙𝗻𝗄, your Cyberbacker?
𝗙𝗻𝗄 is a go-getter. She's curious about the world, and she's curious about this business. She's curious about how to make it better. She's just curious in general. So I think those two things make her just an ideal person to be on the team. I do think of her like a business partner. I joke with her all the time. I'm like, you're going to get bored soon. I need to find like a business for you to start. Right. But I just want to be sure that she knows, like, I really not only back her and support her when she wants things, like, can I leave an hour early? I'm like, yes. You know what I mean? I want her to be able to like have the freedom to do things and not always feel so locked to her desk, because she does sit there for a long time. I get up from my desk all day. I mean, she gets up to do things like go to the bathroom and eat, but she's not really moving. I get in my car and go to show houses. I want her to know that, like, when it supports her health, it supports her happiness. I'm really, really big on it.
Now, we are very, very excited to see where this partnership grows to for the next couple of years. Again, Shannon, thank you very much for coming back, doing the show. We really appreciate your time. I hope we can do this again soon.
Sounds great. Thanks, 𝗙𝗪𝗪.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of Cyber CEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.